Summer lingers in the air, in the sound, open skies, worn boots. One more night before it's gone. Gulls summer send-off.
The Gulls take game one.
And he's looking for the strikeout to put an exclamation point on this series, and he does.
And for the first time in franchise history, the Sylvan Lake Gulls head to the WCBL championship. There will be a new WCBL champion this season.
That's got a chance.
a home
Where
run.
is it going?
Good
Is it
night.
not enough? Yes, it does. Marcus Abelhosen with the walk-off homer.
The Sylvan Lake Gulls have got the dog off their back. They are headed to the WCBL championship final with an 8-4 win.
Finally, summer weather has arrived in Sylvan Lake, and it is shaping up for some great baseball here tonight. Good evening, baseball fans. Welcome to Gulls Baseball on FloCollege, brought to you by Visit Sylvan Lake. I'm Cal Clark. Always a pleasure to have you tuning in wherever you may be for some WCBL action between the visiting Brooks Bombers and the Sylvan Lake Gulls. This will mark the third of this 4-game home-and-home series between both clubs as the Brooks Bombers upset Sylvan Lake in both those first 2 games of this series. That's picking up their first wins on the season. Now, despite having a combined 13 strikeouts between 3 different pitchers last night, it still wasn't enough for the visiting Sylvan Lake Gulls. Bomber shortstop Gage Perry has gone 3 for 6 in this series, knocking in 5 runs and coming around score 3 times himself. He's going to be someone Sylvan Lake's pitching staff is going to have to take notice here tonight to try and shut down. And let's take a look at your starting pitcher for Sylvan Lake, because it's a veteran guy that they're going to need to turn to kind of slow things down for the Bombers, and that is number 37, Kai Rempel, getting his 3rd start of the summer. He's 0-1. He's got 7 innings of work under his belt already. From what I can see on your graphic, it says 5.1. He's got 6 hits, 12 strikeouts, my apologies, 2 earned runs, and an ERA at about 2.57. So, yeah, he'll definitely need to shut down this batting order that's coming up for the Brooks Bombers. And they're going to throw a guy in that hasn't played against the Gulls yet in this series, and that's Emerson Fleck starting at the DH role. And then they're going to go Maverick McAllister and Dalen Jeffcoats, the 1-2-3 batters. And then rounding out the batting order is Daniel Jenkins, the left fielder. So definitely some familiar pieces in that lineup. Gage Perry is one of them that I was talking about just earlier moments ago. The defense for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, Elijah Hamill steps back in left field. You got Dom Giusti at center, and then Charlie Collins, the Australian, out in right field, and then John Boy Rittenhouse at third. Tylen Grays in the shortstop position. Maddox Shaver, who's so dangerous for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, at second, and then over at first, of course, Coleman Perry. He's kind of made an office there over at first base, and then, of course, Eli Duncan, the catcher, behind the plate to give the signal to Kai Rempel for the first pitch, and it's down and away for ball 1 as we are underway on this gorgeous Saturday night action between the Sylvan Lake Gulls and the Brooks Bombers. And that one, Rempel paints the corner. And like I said, I think the pitching staff last night, you know, the Brooks Bombers got out to a very early lead. They scored 4 runs in that first inning, and they end up taking that game 8-2 last night against the Sylvan Lake Gulls. And then the night before that, 12-6. So, you know, just uncharacteristic for maybe Sylvan Lake. But, you know, Brooks playing some good baseball right now. They're starting to finally get a rhythm. They're finally finding ways to get some wins. And they definitely were in desperate mode the last couple days to get those wins, as this is grounded right up the middle. Tyler Graves will hop onto it, and he lost the handle on it as he just couldn't quite control that ball down. And it's going to land in for, I believe, I would say maybe they're going to give this a base hit. This might be an error to Tyler Graves early on. Let's take a look here as he flips it to his hand, but then he flipped it maybe a little bit too far past where his hand could catch it and lost the handle on it. So I think we're going to give that an error to Tyler Graves to start this ball game. So Brooks already with a base runner over at first. That's Emerson Fleck. So a tough start for Sylvan Lake. The first batter face. That'll bring up Maverick McAllister, the second baseman, and he hits this pretty good into center field, but settling underneath of it is the Juice. Dom Juicy is what I got a little bit of some nicknames from some of the players before the game. Joey Marino said they call him the Juice. So Dom Juicy with the first out of the game for Sylvan Lake. Dalen Jeffcoat stepping up to the plate. He's got some sellies out at center field with his right fielder, Charlie Collins. And speaking of fielders, this is the left fielder for the Bombers, Jeff Coates. And he watches that off-speed come in for a strike one. But yeah, just one of those nights last night. Sylvan Lake, you know, they got up to a good start. They went up 1-0, and then the Brooks Bombers really came alive at the bats in the bottom of the first, going up 4-1. And, you know, despite how many strikeouts that the pitching staff had, they had 13 between the three. Still just couldn't settle down the Brooks offense. Good off speed again. The Rampol using his off speeds a lot tonight, and a gorgeous night. Not a lot of wind, so it's one of those nights where you can really have a little bit more control with those off speed pitches coming down the line. And this is swung on right to the second baseman, and Maddox Shaver, uncharacteristic, drops the ball as well. And that's just like that. 2 errors against the Sylvan Lake Gulls that would have been easy outs, and this inning would technically be over. So it just takes his eye off of things a little too early, trying to flip it over to Tylen Graves. Maybe, could have turned the double play there, but things are just kind of piling up here for Sylvan Lake to start this game. A couple errors in the infield, which we haven't seen really much at all this season. So 2 base runners now for Brooks. That will bring up Asahi Nakano, the first baseman. As we're getting into the meat of the order here. Good pitch there, 82 miles per hour from Rempel. Calgary, Alberta kid, goes to Cloud County Community College. And he comes in again with another off speed. That kind of floats away from Nakano. 1-2. This is hit softly, a little bit of a blooper into shallow right center field. That's going to drop, and it's going to land in for a run scored. The Brooks Bombers go up 1-0 here and take advantage of a couple infield errors. And they'll take the first lead of the ball game. So Nakano sends this little blooper into right center field, and it just drops in that right in the middle of the 3 fielders where nobody can get to it. And again, errors come to haunt you sometimes, and that's exactly what happened for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. So an RBI single for Nakano. And you just can't give up free passes to any team in this league. They will more times than not make you pay for it. That'll bring up Andrew Bain, center fielder, and he cuts over top of this. Foul down the third base line. Let's take a look at our umpires here for today. Our home plate umpire, Clayton Wandler, and then over at third, there's Don Buscas. He's the crew chief tonight. And then at first, you got Levi Wagner. So a good infield of umpires here this evening. Don Buscas, always a well-known man here at Sylvan Lake. He'll be here again tomorrow night as well for like a last-minute fill-in, as Chris Hartley will not be here tomorrow, so Don Buscas filling his place, and he'll be actually behind the home plate tomorrow night. And I only know that because Don was in here, and they're going to send the throw over to second, and it doesn't get him. As they kind of try to catch Dalen Jeffcoats, maybe sleeping a little bit on that play. Kind of nonchalant, just slowly, okay, I'm just going to walk back, and then, oh, no, maybe not, as a good throw by Eli Duncan, but the tag not there in time. So Jeffcoats will stay safe over at second. It was kind of, he just kind of got caught. Okay, nonchalant, walking back, and then realized, oh, no, I guess I got to get back. And the throw was there, I think, in time. It was just the tag didn't quite get him before his hand reached around the tag to get to second base. So a good job there by Jeffcoats to make sure. Gage Perry, who I talked about in the pregame show a little bit tonight, he's on deck right now for his first plate appearance. And Perry's been hitting the ball well in the last couple games for the Bombers. And as is Andrew Bain. I mean, he went 1 for 4 last night. He got the home run, the 3-run homer. That really kind of took charge there in that first inning. And he hits this softly to Rempel, who makes a play back to second, turning it over to Perry for the double play. What a good defensive effort, and that's exactly what the Sylvan Lake Gulls needed, as Kai Rempel turns and starts this double play over to Graves before he makes a dart to Perry. And just like that, the Gulls will come to bat at the bottom of the first, but not before the Bombers score first. It's 1-0, Brooks. Cesar Morales getting his second start of the season, 0-2 so far. He's got 4 innings of work, and he's got 4 strikeouts in his name as well, giving up 7 hits. So in just about 4 innings of work, like I mentioned. So he's also, going to be facing some pretty good batters coming down the line here. Dom Giusti, Elijah Hamill, and Maddox Shaver, the 1-2-3 batters. And then rounding things out, Tylen Graves. Of course, you got John Boy Rittenhouse in there as well. Coleman Perry, Eli Duncan, Charlie Collins. But the DH tonight is actually going to be Cooper Sazelski, who's got a really good bat, and he's going to be looking to get things going for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. For the Bombers, you got Daniel Jenkins out in left field, Andrew Bain at center, Dalen Jeffcoats in right, and then Derry Start Couture over at third, Gage Perry at shortstop, Maverick McAllister second, Asahi Nakano over at first, and Amir Pinero is the catcher for tonight. So Cesar Morales looking to keep the Gulls at bay with a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first inning. Dom Juicy, with this being his 35th at-bat appearance. He's hitting .235 so far, 6 RBIs, got 1 homer, and 3 extra base hits in just 9 games played. Quickly 1-1 to Juicy. And Morales also in his college days this year, in 2025. He had 6 wins, 3 losses. He had about 60 innings pitched, 59 strikeouts. And he gave up 42 earned runs. And Juicy fouls that back to the screen. 2-2 the count. On 4 pitches thrown by Morales. Cesar Morales from Miami, Florida. Goes to St. Thomas University. And Juicy fights that one off to stay alive. Elijah Hamill on deck, all very happy and excited to be back. Got to chat with him a little bit before the game here tonight. He's just happy to be playing baseball. That's who he is, and that's what he likes to do. As do most of these guys, obviously. They wouldn't be here if they weren't into doing that kind of thing. So, yeah, Elijah Hamill's just a big baseball guy. Loves it. Can't get enough of it. Full count to Juicy. And he goes down swinging. The strike dropped by the catcher, but the throw in time. So it'll be a strikeout to Dom Juicy for out number 1. So far, pretty good pitch there by Morales. A little sinker down low. That has Juicy out, swinging at it. That'll bring up Elijah Hamill. But it was a pretty good amount of pitches that had to be thrown to get Juicy out. 7 pitches on 1 batter already for Morales. Elijah Hamill takes a pretty good cut at that. Just got in earlier this week. Well, about a week ago, I guess. So he's just got the 1 game under his belt so far. He's had 4 at-bats. Looking for his first hit of the summer. From Oakville, Ontario. Goes to Niagara University. Hamill again trying to take a big cut at it. This guy doesn't swing lightly. He's swinging like he's trying to clear this one out of the ballpark. Hamill loves to hit the ball hard. And when he connects on it, well, yeah, it's gone in a hurry. And he hits this pretty good. A little blooper just over the shortstop. And it'll land in for a base hit. As he lifts this just over Gage Perry. And a good first base hit of the summer for Elijah Hamill. No chance there for Perry, even though he was playing a little deep in the infield. So that'll bring up the oh-so-dangerous Maddox Shaver. Maddox Shaver going 3 for 5 in the last 2 games. Had 2 home runs back on Thursday night. He's hitting over 500 this summer, 529. He's leading the team with RBIs with 13. Leading the team in homers at 5. Obviously leading the team in the batting average. This kid just is something to watch since he has come over to be Sylvan Lake Gull. He pops this up high and behind. Everybody better look out. Right in the sun. It's coming down, and it just landed safely on the berm, but it didn't miss some kids by much down low. Luckily, nobody was pegged with that high fly ball, but beautiful night, and everybody's taking it in on the berm. You can see it's just a full crowd here at Gulls Field. You love to see it. Finally, some summer weather that everybody can enjoy. 1-1 to Shaver. So Elijah Hamill over at first, and he takes a cut at that one. 1-2. And that's up high, the off speed, 78 miles per hour. Just missing. Cooper Siselski, the batter on deck right now. He's got one job tonight, one job only, and that's to be the DH. Throw down to first. Elijah Hamill back in lots of time. Shaver goes down swinging. Strikeout to him. That doesn't happen very often on a hot batter like that. But a good pitch. I got to give credit to this Cesar Morales. He's really throwing right now. Wheeling and dealing, as I like to call it. So that'll bring up Cooper Siselski. Elijah Hamill still over at first. And Siselski watches that go by for a ball. Siselski hits this on the ground to start Couture. He makes the long throw and he gets it there in time. So Brooks only giving up the one hit, a couple strikeouts, and no score to be shown for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. The Bombers will come to bat. You're watching Gulls baseball on FloCollege.
Summer lingers in the air, in the sound, open skies, worn boots, one more night before it's gone. Gulls summer send-off.
An absolutely gorgeous night here in central Alberta, Sylvan Lake, which is a good thing because a year ago from this day was not so good. This is exactly a year ago at Gulls Field when the Sylvan Lake Gulls took on the Energy City Cactus Rats. It literally looked like it was snowing, but it wasn't. It was hail. That has covered the whole infield. Then the Energy City Cactus Rats said, hey, let's have some fun with it. We're not playing baseball, so we may as well make a hail man out of it. And yeah, a little snowman, hail man, however you call it. Great picture there, and it actually went quite viral from last year, but a completely different story this year. Thank goodness for all the fans in attendance. Don't have to worry about any of that here this evening, as there is not a lot of clouds in the sky, and it is turning out to be just a gorgeous night here for baseball. Finally, it feels like, because it feels like we haven't had a lot. And if you're the Brooks Bombers, you've seen enough cooler, rainy weather as well. I think a lot of their games have been postponed and canceled already this year. I think they've already had a few that have been, canceled and rescheduled. So they're probably just as happy to see that the sun is out and there's no dark clouds looming in the distance. Brooks up 1-0 here, and that will bring up Gage Perry, who I was mentioning went 3 for 6 so far in the last 2 nights in this series, 5 RBIs. And Perry lifts this into shallow right field, and it's going to drop for a base hit. So the Bombers' bats stay warm. As Perry, an opposite field, soft contact that drops in. That'll bring up Amir Pinero. And even Gage Perry, who just lifted that into right field, also came around to score 3 times himself. So he's having a pretty good week so far with Brooks. And Amir Pinero now at the dish. This will be his 15th at bat. He's hitting .286 so far this summer. He's got an RBI credited in his name. And that's just inside. Watches that go by for a ball. Good pitch there by Kai Rempel. And again, the kind of a similar pitch, a little off speed. Tried to move it in a little bit more, but it stayed to the outside for ball 2. Clayton Wandler, again, the home plate umpire, making the calls. It's fouled back. 2-2 now, the count even. So far, Bombers with 2 hits in this game, and Gulls with 2 errors back in that first inning. And that is basically what has started out in this ball game for Sylvan Lake, is the errors cost them that 1 run. Otherwise, that inning would have been over, and it would still be a scoreless ball game right about now. But just you know, the infield, Tyler Graves over there right now, just probably shaking it off. He probably already forgot about it. And that, as an infielder, anybody that makes those little bit of mistakes, that doesn't happen very often, just got to shake it off. And same with Maddox Shaver. You know, he had a very uncharacteristic bounce not go his way, and just got to forget about it, move on. Full count to Pinero. And he watches that go inside for a ball. So he gets to walk down to first. So Bombers again with a couple base runners on. That will bring up Darius Steyert Couture.
The third baseman, number 8, Darius Steyert Couture.
Couture squared up to bunt, maybe do a little bit of the small ball. We saw that a little bit when they were here on the 30th of May. They like to play a little bit of small ball. They like to take advantage of base runners, smart base running, of course. And that comes obviously from their new head coach, Justin Gomez. This is lifted into right field. It's going to be caught, and the throw comes in quickly to keep everybody at bay. So that is out number 1, what the Gulls needed. Steyert Couture goes down. Take a look at this pitch. A fastball coming right down the middle. He gets this off the end of the bat. Lifts it right to Charlie Collins. Getting some action in early this game. So that'll bring up Daniel Jenkins, the left fielder. Jenkins 0 for 1 yesterday. Hits this pretty good into right field, and Collins again with another catch. Makes the throw in, but They this time are able to advance Gage Perry from second over to third. So back-to-back catches for Charlie Collins. Had to run back a little bit on that one. And a good catch made there. Back to the top of the batting order, Emerson Fleck, who grounded it right to Tylen Graves back in the first inning. And then Graves, of course, bobbled it. And then it was Fleck that got on base, and then he eventually came around to score. Rempel throws back to Perry to keep Pinero in check. This is grounded right back to Rempel, and he'll take it himself and just toss it over to Perry for the third out. Well, one base hit, but no runs come in to score, and the Sylvan Lake Gulls just down a run will come to the bottom of 2 next right here on Gulls Baseball.
For more than 40 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Sentinel Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
For over a century, we've been more than just lawyers. We're your neighbors, your friends, and your strongest advocates. With 15 locations across the prairies, we're everywhere you are. Stringham, your local lawyers.
Have you ever wondered if there's one thing that connects people from across our province? Something that connects the coffee shop to the spray park, or the brewery to the rodeo, the campground to the sports field. It's pretty amazing when you think about how it's all connected, because it truly is. And it's all we think about, so you don't have to.
Sometimes summer's just better at the ballpark, isn't it? I mean, these people all taking it in here on this Saturday night, Central Alberta, and it is a full house here at Pagano Park. It's great to see everybody getting outside, taking in some summer air, and watching some baseball. It doesn't get much better than that. Sylvan Lake Gulls down 1-0. Of course, the crowd looking to maybe cheer about something here, and hopefully we'll get something to cheer about with this inning and this at-bat as Charlie Collins steps up to the plate. The right fielder who just joined in earlier this week for Sylvan Lake. Both him and, of course, Matthew McKenzie, who go to Colby Community College together. Or sorry, they go to University of Texas at Tyler. I was looking at what Matthew McKenzie went to last year before he made the move. So they both go to the University of Texas at Tyler. Two and one the count. Going to have some special guests joining me in this fourth inning coming up, so looking forward to it there. Don't go anywhere. You're going to want to stick around for it, that is for sure, as we get a couple guys coming up from the dugout, and that will be a swing and a miss to Charlie Collins. So good, good work by this pitcher and Cesar Morales, who's had the Gulls numbers so far to start this night. They're getting a really good start from this kid. That's his third strikeout of the evening. So he's been busy and doing quite well on the mound. Now bring up Eli Duncan. Eli Duncan quickly up in the count, 2-0. One away. Just the one hit so far for Sylvan Lake. And he checks his swing there, but it doesn't matter. Called strike, painting the corner as Eli Duncan turns around. Has some words with Clayton Wandler to see, okay, what did you see there? Now I know that's in the strike zone. Winding back for another fastball. That one on the outside. 89 miles per hour by Morales. So 3-1. If you're Sylvan Lake, obviously just take the walk here. Get a base runner on. Now bring up Coleman Perry and John Boy Rittenhouse, who have some really good bats in them. And that's exactly what's going to happen here, as Duncan will take first base. Which brings up Coleman Perry.
Now batting the first baseman, number 30, Coleman.
And Coleman Perry ended up actually having the night off last night, so he's probably recharged and ready to go as they throw down to first. Perry did play, however, on that Thursday night, and he ended up going 0 for 2. However, he did come around to score a run. Perry already with 7 RBIs on the season, the 1 homer. He hit that home run on that rain delay night last weekend. It's a Friday night. And it was a 3-run shot too. It's a huge, huge homer. It's like right after the rain delay, he was down in the count, I believe 0-1 anyways, to come out. And then he got down 1-2, and then he just absolutely drilled a bomb. I went over the left field wall. He's hitting about 361 on the season. He's quickly down in the count, however, here, 0-2. Turns on this, just fair down the line, and that's going to be extra bases for at least one runner, and that's going to be extra bases for Eli Duncan. Perry with the base hit, though. And Sylvan Lake Gulls, for the first time tonight, are in scoring position. Right down the line. Nice little turn on that one by Coleman Perry. We'll get Eli Duncan over to third. That's just the second base hit of the game. So that'll bring up John Boy Rittenhouse.
Number 7, John Boy.
Sylvan Lake now looking to keep this momentum rolling in the right direction. Rittenhouse, 235. He's got 10 RBIs on the year already. Looking for another one. Home run as well. There's quite a few guys that have hit them over the fence already this season. I count 9 different batters have sent one over the fence. So that's some pretty good depth for Sylvan Lake's batters. You can get some guys in here that can come in and change the game with one swing of the bat. John Boy Rittenhouse, of course, our walk-off hero against Energy City the other night. That was a while ago now. It was over a week ago. Oh, catch over at the Gulls dugout there with the glove. Someone had their glove on and they made the snag. Rittenhouse from Scottsville, Virginia. Goes to the University of the Cumberlands. And that one comes on inside for ball 3. 3-1. A walk here would not be a bad thing either for Sylvan Lake. Because we got Tylen Graves on deck right now, and he's just as solid of a batter as many of these guys. And that just doesn't catch the strike zone, just too low. So a good take there by Rittenhouse to load the bases here for Tylen Graves. And that will prompt a little meeting on the mound. Steve Gomez, the dad of Justin Gomez, he's the pitching coach, will come out to the mound now and have a word with Cesar Morales, who's been pretty good to start this game. And now he's starting to just find himself a little bit into a little bit of a hole. Just a couple walks in this inning and a base hit. So it's just a nice little reset for everybody to get everybody kind of on the same page. Well, Sylvan Lake Gulls baseball here at Pagato Park, but there's other things that happen also at the ballpark when the season is over, and that is the Gulls Summer Send-Off. August 22nd, it's on Saturday. It's the last party of the season. They're going to have the Hip Replacements, which is a knockoff from the Tragically Hip, Power Up, which is an AC/DC cover band, and then, of course, ABBA Revisited will be here at Pagato Park. A bit of a party, him get a base hit or hit it deep into the field. A long ball will do some damage and would tie this ball game. Minimum tie this ball game. Southwest Tennessee Community College kid looking to open things up here for Sylvan Lake. Goes to Bartlett, Tennessee. That's where he calls home. That ball down low for a walk, and that will walk in to tie this game as Eli Duncan comes in to score. So on the board here at Gulls Field, I didn't know that was the third ball already, and that Tylen Graves goes down to first. So this game is now tied, as that's the third walk by Morales, and he was doing really good. He was on to a roll there all the way up until the second batter of this game, where Eli Duncan then originally just came in to score, but base is still loaded, and it's back to the top of the batting order for Dom Giusti, the Juice Man. And he's hitting .235. He's got 6 RBIs already, 1 homer. Just looks like Morales is having a tough time right now. Fighting things off, trying to find that strike zone. but not giving up too much. So Bombers look like they might finally be loosening up an arm over in the bullpen. We would show it to you, but we're having some technical difficulties in the bullpen right now. I did get word that it's number 26, Walker Kakatayo, warming up, the right-handed pitcher. So 1-2 now to Juicy as he fouls that off. Big pitch here by Morales. And Juicy sends this high into foul territory. It's staying in play for now, and it just trickles off into the Gulls bullpen to make it unplayable for the fielders. But a good job there by the Bombers defense to get over quickly. That's the shortstop, Gage Perry, going all the way over for that one. And he was also joined by Daniel Jenkins as well in left field. But he got on the wheels there quickly. Elijah Hamill on deck. And Juicy hits this on the ground to Perry, who scoops it, makes the throw to second, and over in time for the double play. A huge double play by the Brooks Bombers. Exactly what they needed to limit the damage with the bases loaded situation. And this game just stays to the 1 run scored, and it's tied 1-1 heading in to the 3rd inning.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
I would really not like to be down there right now. That looks just terrible. In the sunshine, some beverages in front of you. I mean, it looks just, what else would you want, right? I mean, that looks like a good time to me. Kind of jealous up here, not going to lie. But at the end of the day, I get to still watch baseball, so I can't be too upset with it, right? Beautiful night here at Sylvan Lake. 1-1 between the Brooks Bombers and the Sylvan Lake Gulls. And Maverick McAllister is at the plate right now, and he takes a swing and cut out of that one. 0-1. Kai Rempel 0-1. That one just getting past Eli Duncan. One to Rempel, and he comes in with an off speed there. Catches the zone. 1-2. Maverick McAllister, Dalen Jeffcoats, and Asahi Nakano, the 1-2-3 scheduled batters this inning. McAllister flew out to center fielder last at bat. And he fouls this off towards the Bombers dugout. Someone scoops it up. So this is the 4th of 8 meetings between the Bombers and the Sylvan Lake Gulls this season. Bombers quickly 2-1 over the Gulls, but Rempel sits down McAllister for out number 1 in this 3rd inning. A nice strikeout there, and that's the first strikeout for Rempel tonight. So we see the K being put up on the fence for the first time. And like I mentioned last night, 13 Ks between 3 pitchers last night's effort, but still fall to the Bombers 8-2. Reese Hemmerling was the pitcher that got the start, had 5 innings of work. And Kai Rempel's really got that off speed working for him. Start every batter off with. So I'll bring up Dalen Jeffcoats. Gulls now 28-7 all-time record against the Bombers in the last 5 years, and that's flipped over by Rempel to Perry in time for out number 2. It's the second time that Rempel has put out the batter. I should say that's the second time he's maybe put out the batter at first, but then if you remember back in the first, he turned a double play. It started the double play. So that'll bring up Asahi Nakano, the first baseman, and he hits this hard but down the foul. That would have been a really great hit if it stayed fair. And then this one hit right to Coleman Perry, who will go onto his bag. So 3 up, 3 down inning by the Sylvan Lake Gulls. But Kai Rempel started things out with a big K, his first one of the night. And then he took it himself and flipped it over to Perry for the second out. It was a Kai show in that one.
For more than 40 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Sentinel Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
For over a century, we've been more than just lawyers. We're your neighbors, your friends, and your strongest advocates. With 15 locations across the prairies, we're everywhere you are. Stringham, your local lawyers.
Yo, Dustin, you going?
Yes.
Can I join you guys? All right, let's go.
Whether it's on the ice or on our app, always play for the fun of the game. Gamble responsibly with Play Alberta.
Yeah, ballpark are some kids as well as team. We got some hats, the green S. I love it. So everybody in attendance here and taking in this game. Berm's always a good time. Those are the starters. I don't know what town they're from, but it is a baseball team, as one kid's in his baseball uniform here at Gulls Field. Love to see it. We had minor ball night earlier this week on, I believe it was Tuesday night. It was the minor ball night. So baseball teams, no matter if it's minor ball night or not, they're coming out supporting this local Sylvan Lake Gulls. Elijah Hamill will start things off and fouls this down the first baseline. And yeah, I just got word in my ear from Calvin Bells from Green Onion Media. He thinks maybe Airdrie Stars, that could be the team. So great work, fellas. So Elijah takes a swing at that one. 1-2. Sylvan Lake Gulls, unfortunate. They finally got some offensive momentum back in that second inning. Bases were loaded, but an incredible double play to end the inning and keep the Gulls just to the 1 run scored that was walked in. 2-2. Hamill watches it go by, and it just hangs on that outside corner away from him for yet another strikeout by Cesar Morales. And a good frame there as well by Pinero. Gets the call. That's his fourth strikeout of the night for Morales. And this is hit high in the air, foul territory, but playable, and it will be caught by Dalen Jeffcoats. So just like that, 2 up, 2 down, Maddox Shaver. 0-2 on the night. And that's uncharacteristic like for him, but still lots of baseball to be played, as Maddox Shaver is he has hit some hard balls pretty much every single game. I don't believe he's been snuffed out yet. Cooper Sazelski now will step in, DH tonight. Sees that 90-mile-per-hour fastball go in. Strike 1. Chases after that one too. 0-2 quickly to Saselski. Good inning of work here by Morales, settling down after that last inning where he walked a few guys. Game is tied. Bombers having a solid game and solid road start so far, as this has popped right up to the second baseman. Maverick McAllister settling underneath of it, and he'll track it down and haul it in for out number 3. So it's a 3 up, 3 down inning this time now, exchanged for the Brooks Bombers, and we will come to the top of the 4th next right here on Gulls Baseball.
Hey baseball fans, make sure to stay up to date with your favorite teams across the league by subscribing to the WCBL YouTube channel right now. We have tons of free coverage for you over there, including daily highlights, full archived game broadcasts, daily game day previews, plus the WCBL report with myself and Joe McFarland every Wednesday. It's all in one spot, the WCBL YouTube channel. Subscribe today.
Kai Rempel had about 3 innings of work, giving up the 1 run, and this is going to be number 40, Ryan Kusi, coming in for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and I am pleased to be joined in the broadcast booth by a couple pitchers themselves as we welcome in, of course, Dylan Meitner, the returning Sylvan Lake Gull, and then a new Gull, Reese Hammerling. Reese, great to have you up in the broadcast booth for the first time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And I don't know, Dylan, remind me, have you been up here before? You have not been up here. Well, let's make sure your mic's working here. And I think that was just maybe our guy, Calvin. But yeah, please go ahead. This is your first time?
Yeah, it's my first time.
There we go. Well, there you go. Great to have you gentlemen both up here. Thanks for taking the time on your night to come join me and keep me company, because I'm lonely up here sometimes. As you can see, it gets a little lonely up here by myself sometimes. So it's good to have you guys here. And what do you guys make of this game so far with the 1-1 tie against the Bombers?
Pretty different story from the past couple games we've played in Brooks. Definitely smaller field out there, so it's probably playing a part. But we're looking to compete after dropping the last 2.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. And I guess for you, Reese, you got the start last night. Yeah. Weird that we still lost 8-2, knowing that all three pitchers still with a combined 13 strikeouts. I mean, you were still wheeling and dealing pretty good. Just I guess what might have went wrong from your perspective.
Yeah, just a little rough start there. A couple plays that I could have made, and then in that first inning, gave up a home run that kind of, didn't help the stat line there and help the team out. But we're looking to bounce back next time I get out there and give the team a better chance to win a game.
And we might have even seen a little bit of that carryover from last night into tonight at the start of the game. You saw Tylen Graves, with that little bit of that miss opportunity with a throw down to first. And, of course, Maddox Shaver, who doesn't miss many either, and he bobbles it a little bit. So just a little bit of those quick, small little, I guess, baby errors, if you will. But, it looks like the guys bounced back in a big way already tonight and look like they're playing some solid ball together.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see. This is definitely the baseball we can play, and we know we can play. So just looking to build off this and, not get off to a rough start again.
Well, Ryan Kusi, first batter he faces is Andrew Bain, and he comes in, and what a throw there. Strikes him out, gets him looking, and that's out number one. What can you guys say about Ryan? We'll start with you, Dylan. What do you think of Ryan so far?
He's been lights out for sure. Something about his arm slot for sure. The hitters can't pick it up.
Yeah.
It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, that's kind of a unique delivery that he's got.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Let's take a look again here as he delivers it, and then he just whips it in there for another strike. So, obviously every umpire is differently too. They got Clayton Wallner behind the dish here tonight. And what have you guys picked up from, I guess, some of his calls tonight? Maybe some that are favoring the pitcher a little bit tonight, or what do you guys think?
Yeah, there might be some that are favoring the pitcher. That might get called against you and battle from there.
Absolutely. 0-2 here to Gage Perry, who had a base hit back in that second inning. 1-1 tie between the Bombers, and then he lifts this right to Coleman Perry, who's going to flip it over to Kusi in time for the second out. What a play there by Coleman Perry. We've seen him make those plays a couple times already this year where he lays out, he stops it, gloves it up, and then that time he just didn't think he'd beat the runner to the bag, so good cover there by Ryan Kusi to come over and take that ball as well. So a good job there by the Sylvan Lake Gulls defensively to shut things down. A nice flip over to Kusi. So that'll bring up Amir Pinero. We're having everybody popping their heads in. Now that all of a sudden we get maybe one or two guys popping in the broadcast booth, now everybody seems to be interested and want to come and visit me. Reese Hammerling up here in the broadcast booth. Cale Clark with you as well. It's 2 away, 1-0, now 1-1 to Amir Pinero. And let's get to know Reese a little bit, because we know Dylan a little bit. But Reese, tell us where you're from and who may be watching tonight. Anybody at home watching?
Yeah, so I'm from Beaumont, Alberta, and my mom likes to tune into the games, so she's watching tonight, and she'll be watching in the future. So yeah.
Shout out to Mama Hammerling from Beaumont, Alberta. Stop by Edmonton. And that pitch coming in, even count, 2-2. So tell us a little bit about your guys' playing days. Obviously, you're from Vancouver area, so what was that like growing up over there?
So I grew up in Vancouver.
Just a moment here as this is caught and neatly by Charlie Collins, who's had a few catches already this game. So 3 up, 3 down inning again for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Game still tied 1-1. And do we want to stay on here, Calvin, or are we going to break? Let's stay on for a little bit. Let's get to know you guys a little bit more and chat with you as we go to break here. But we'll stay on the air here. So yeah, Dylan, tell us a little bit about your playing days in Vancouver.
Yeah, so I played EBC Thunder in high school, which is we play out of the same field as I do now, so I've been there for 8 years now.
Yeah.
Playing the same field, so it's been comfortable, and I had a really good idea of what our program would be before I even got to the school, so it was a good transition, and I've had a good experience playing there.
And pretty good billets, I'm assuming, hey?
For sure, yeah. Same billet for 2 years.
Yeah, that's good.
Me, yeah.
That's good. And so you don't live with your parents in Vancouver at all?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I live on campus.
Oh, you live on campus. Oh, that's great. Well, that makes it kind of nice and convenient. And Reese, for you, how young were you when you got into baseball?
Yeah, so I grew up playing hockey. That was my thing. I didn't really get into baseball till maybe 12 years old. And, I was always an undersized guy, but, that kind of taught me to work harder. And, I used to play against and with Ryan Kusi all the time. So it's good to know someone up here. And, I took a gap year after high school and worked with an academy, AHP, up in St. Albert there, and they were the ones who essentially got me to play college baseball.
Oh, wow. That's such a cool story because you come in a little bit later, but now you're playing at this level of caliber of baseball, and you're fitting in just well with all these guys. So it's got to be pretty cool. Such a quick journey to get here, but good for you to be here and be a Sylvan Lake Gull. What do you think of Gulls Field and Sylvan Lake? Because Beaumont's not too far up the road, obviously, and you've probably visited Sylvan Lake beforehand, no?
Yeah, I actually played a game here in high school. I think it was my gap year I played here, so definitely a little familiar with the field, but not too much. But Sylvan Lake's a nice spot, and I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. Maybe Mom can make the trip down, watch a game live.
Yep, she's planning on it.
I love it. That's great. Again, Cale Clark here with Reese Hemmerling, Dylan Meitner, and the Sylvan Lake Gulls tied 1-1 with the Brooks Bombers. And this will bring up, getting my score sheet in front of me, Charlie Collins at the plate. So it's been pretty solid defense for both teams. A couple 3-up, 3-down innings from both sides. And Sylvan Lake just looking to take their first lead of the ball game as Collins watches that go by for a called strike. Here's a kid that's come a long way from home to play baseball in Sylvan Lake, Alberta, unlike you guys. I mean, of course, Vancouver's still a distance, and that is Melbourne, Australia native Collins as he hits this right back to the pitcher, and they can't make the play on it, and kind of knocks Cesar Morales down a little bit. Let's take a look at the replay here. As he doesn't get a lot on it, comes over top of that swing, and Morales just takes a little bit of a spill on the mound there, and that allows Collins to get over first safely. So that'll be a base hit, and that happens. I mean, I've been on that field and on that mound, and it kind of, if you're not really, you kind of forget about it sometimes. You're not paying attention. Yeah, you can kind of toe pick on that thing pretty quickly.
That was a good spot.
Yeah.
Put the ground ball.
It's pretty hard for, how hard is it for you guys, when a ground ball does come back to the mound like that? And here's another really good hit right up the middle by Elias Duncan. So a couple back-to-back base hits for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and the bats are starting to roll right now. But back to my question, how hard is it to field any balls that come up on the mound, when obviously the mound is quite elevated?
Yeah, if it hits the slope, it's definitely, you got to tracking when a ball's coming back at me. And yesterday when I pitched, I fielded them, but I threw a couple away, so that definitely wasn't good.
Well, it happens, right?
I find the fast ones that come back are easier because they're more reflex. The
less time to think on it, right?
Yeah, the less you think, the better normally.
And this is a high hit pop-up ball right to center field, and it's going to be caught, and all the runners are going to stay put as Collins can't really go anywhere, and Andrew Bain had a beat on him. So Coleman Perry lifting that into center field. That went almost to the moon and back. That went way up there. So good catch there by Andrew Baines, the center fielder for the Brooks Bombers. And this will bring up John Boy Ritnow. So give us a little bit of inside knowledge, guys, with this team. I mean, is there some funny guys in the dressing room? And if so, who are they? Who are the clowns of the team right now?
Well, we just had a bunch of new guys come in. Basically, the whole team that's going to be here for the whole summer is here now.
Yeah. So still kind of getting to know guys, still trying to feel them out a little bit.
Yeah,
okay.
It's been I think we've had more returners than in the past. So getting everyone to gel, we still figuring out, but definitely some good guys on the team.
That's good. Yeah, some good personalities in the room. That's always a good thing to have. And I think honestly, we saw that last year. I mean, it seems like every season, especially this time of year, it's so early on that you guys are still getting to know each other quite well, and to get that gel, it takes almost a road trip to really get everybody to come together. And you guys really haven't had that necessarily. Yes, you were down in Brooks back-to-back nights in the last 2 nights, but that's not really that far. It's almost like when you get to go on those longer road trips, do you guys find that helps you gel a little bit easier, a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think coming up soon, we're going to Medicine Hat and then Saskatchewan over there, so that'll be good to kind of get to know everyone. So
Yeah.
Yeah, or Swift Current, Moose Jaw, and Medicine Hat. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that last week of June here, that's going to be your big Saskatchewan road trip. And this is hit right down the line, stays fair, and the Sylvan Lake Gulls are going to take their first lead of the ball game. It is an extra base hit for John Boy Rittenhouse, an RBI stand-up double. That was well hit and perfectly placed. Right over the third baseman's head and just in left field. A nice hit there by John Boy. That'll bring up Tylen Graves with runners in scoring position, both at third and second, as Eli Duncan and John Boy Rittenhouse all advance. Graves walked in a batter, actually, and that was what tied this ball game back in that second inning. Bottom of 4, Gulls now up 2-1, 1 away. Gulls with 5 hits and make that maybe 6 as this goes a long way back. Right field all the way, and it's caught by Dalen Jeffcoats, but all the base runners tag up and advance. So another run does come in to score. And the job done by Tylen Graves, his second RBI of the night. That had a chance. That went all the way back to the track, and a good catch there by Dalen Jeffcoats.
Great approach by Tylen there to get the ball in the air.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything deep at that point, you're going to be happy with one away. I mean, you're going to more likely score a run. So Eli Duncan does come in to score. John Boy Rittenhouse now just 90 feet away from scoring himself. But the sacrifice flyout works. Dom Giusti at the plate now, 0-1. What do you guys make of his cleats, his fashion choice? I mean, pretty bright, pretty flashy out there, eh? Those shoes made for speed or what?
You have to be fast to wear those, and he definitely is.
I love it. And there's the shoes right there. I mean, flashy. That's what I would do. I mean, I would wear something cool. Like I wear some flash a little bit, you know. There's a few players in this league that really like to dress all up. We had a player last year, I remember, he had the matching gloves and the shoes. He almost like matched perfectly every time.
John Boy has his full pink elbow guard and leg guard.
Oh, does he?
Too.
Okay, yeah. I like it. So what's your guys' pregame routine before, if you know you're getting a start on the mound? Is there something that you guys go through at all?
For me, I honestly just have a pretty basic routine. Not much to it. It's just something that most guys would do. I don't really have a ritual.
That's fair.
Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary for me. Yeah.
That's fair. Well, a strikeout to Dom Giusti. We'll be back with more Gulls baseball, but they do get another couple runs scored in that bottom of the inning and now are up 3-1 over the Brooks Bombers. Welcome back to Gulls Baseball on FloCollege, brought to you by Visit Sylvan Lake. Cale Clark here with you, as is Reese Hemmerling and Dylan Meitner, and it is a 3-1 Gulls lead over the Brooks Bombers. Ryan Cousy facing number 8, Derry Start Couture, and he grounds this right to Graves, who will field it, pick it up, and fire a dart over to Perry in time. Good play there by the infielder, and I love asking pitchers, it's so nice to know we got infielders like that behind it, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. When something's hit on the ground, even soft, the play's going to get made, so it's obviously awesome to have that.
So on their lineup card, they had Derry Start Couture as number 10, but he's wearing number 8 now, so that's what confused me a little bit. And this ball is hit into the gap. It's going to drop, and Juicy takes a little bit of a spill, but he recovers well, makes the catch, and throws it in. But it is a base hit for Daniel Jenkins here in the top half of the 5th inning. So we were a little bit off air, but I'm going to bring it back up because I think it's really cool, Reese, that you were telling me what you're going to school for. And remind me, what area are you taking for everybody watching at home?
Yeah, so I'm just technically graduated with my bachelor in exercise and sports science and looking to get into physical therapy school.
And you're learning from one of the best in the internship as this ball gets past the infield into the right field, and they're going to send Daniel Jenkins over to third base. So that just kind of missed everybody. It found a way to kind of hop right in between the first baseman and second baseman and Shaver, and they both just couldn't quite get there in time. So another good base hit there, this time by Emerson Fleck. So you're picking the brain a little bit of Mr. Rob Manka then?
Yeah, so I'm doing an internship, so I'll be with him on home days in the morning in the office, and then learning from him here as well. So it's definitely good to learn from a guy like that.
Yeah, that's pretty. It's so cool that you can do your internship right here at the ballpark.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a good setup.
Yeah, that's a great setup. I love that for you. That's amazing. There he is there on the screen, and yeah, he's just an absolute, what I like to call certified hockey term, beauty down in the dugout.
Yeah.
He's been here all 6 years for the Gulls, and this is lightly contacted on to Cousy, who makes the play over to Perry for the second out of the inning. Runners, Emerson Fleck does make his way over to second on the play. But a good job there by Cousy to take a look over his, a little bit over his right shoulder, make sure that the runner over at third and Jenkins isn't going anywhere, and then make the play. And that's got to be, that's also got to be such a mind-challenging thing as a pitcher. Hey, Dylan, would you say those are tough when you got to keep a guy in check over at third? He's, kind of threatening to score. Oh, I got to turn your mic on. That was my bad.
No worries. Yeah, those ones where you have to really slow down are tough because going from throwing max intent to throwing it over the bases is very challenging for sure. He's doing a great job of getting weak contact right now, though.
Absolutely. Dalen Jeff Coates now at the plate. Runners at second and third, two-way. And this is hit softly, and it's going to land for a base hit, and 2 runs will come in to score to tie this baseball game up. A perfectly placed ball by Dalen Jeff Coates, a 2 RBI single. And just like that, the Bombers aren't going anywhere just yet. That lands kind of right in the Bermuda Triangle. That's what I like to call it, right where no one can get to. Finds the gap, finds the hole. Brooks, obviously, and we talk about it a little bit, a team that was winless before the series started against the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and they're just starting to find a little bit of that gel. And they played Sylvan Lake. They played us hard on May 30th as well, so the Gulls just beat them 5-4 that night. And this is grounded right to Tylen Graves, looking to end this inning, and he makes the throw to Perry in time. Well, thank you guys for coming up. I believe you want to get back down to the dugout, so I'll let you do that. Thanks for joining me tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys are awesome. That is Dylan Meitner and Reese Hemmerling. Cale Clark here with you. Gulls coming to bat. New pitcher on the mound for the Brooks Bombers, and that is Walker Cocotelo. That's kind of a tricky one. That's a tongue twister, that's for sure. As Walker comes into this ball game, and he's from White Rock, BC. Bossier Parish Community College is where he goes to school, and he is going to face number 14, Elijah Hamill, to lead things off. Hamill, Maddox Shaver, and Cooper Sizelski, the 1-2-3 batters, or sorry, I should say the 2-3-4 batters. And Hamill watches that go by for ball one. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Walker Cocotelo was actually a pitcher that came in back on May 30th when these teams last met here at Gulls Field. Catches it there, 1-1. Yeah, he had just over 2 innings of work so far this season. He's got 2 strikeouts, 2 runs scored, and he walked 4 batters so far this season. And he's got a unique delivery as Hamill lifts this into left field. Daniel Jenkins makes the catch. Out number 1. So that'll bring up Maddox Shaver, 0 for 2 on the night. As I mentioned earlier, not very typical for him to be quiet with the bat. He has been absolutely impressive to start this season. Again, want to thank Dylan Meitner and Reese Hemmerling for taking the time to come up and visit me in the broadcast booth. And Shaver lifts this right below the glove of Gage Perry. That lands in. I want to say that's going to be maybe credited a base hit to Maddox Shavers. It just kind of had an awkward drop. It dropped, Perry wasn't sure if that was going to land before it came to him on the glove, and it literally just sunk at the exact moment it got to him, just underneath the glove. So I believe, they are crediting it a base hit to Maddox Shaver. So like I said, I don't think has gone a night without at least getting one of them. And he's 1 for 3 on the evening. I'll bring up Cooper Sizelski. Maddox Shaver, of course, leading this team with batting average over 500. He's got 5 home runs, 13 RBIs. Throw down to keep Shaver in check. Shaver also a former Bomber, because he actually played the last 2 summers with the Brooks Bombers. So playing against his old team, and it was kind of funny. I got in there and chatting with him, and the boys were kind of giving him a hard time. They're like, oh, they got a statue in Brooks for Maddox. Well, I mean, if he played as well as he did with so far this year with the Gulls, I wouldn't doubt it. He has been a force since coming over. He had 24 RBIs in the 2024 season with the Bombers and 17 last summer. He only had 2 home runs last summer with Brooks and 3 the year before, so he's already he's already got the same amount of home runs combined in the last 2 years. Hitting .316 last year. That is Maddox Shaver, of course. Cooper Sizelski, then 2024. And then he's a story in himself, the league MVP from that 2024 season. And the throw again over first. Keeps Shaver close. Charlie Collins on deck. Tie game, 3-3. Bombers just adding 2 in the top half of this inning. And a unique delivery, again, made by this new pitcher on the mound. in Walker Cocatello. And he can't find the strike zone on that one, so Zazelski will take the walk here. And that's the first walk given up by Cocatello. So runner in scoring position. That'll bring up Charlie Collins. Base hit back in the fourth, struck out in the second. Meeting on the mound from Steve Gomez, the pitching coach, and father of head coach Justin Gomez. Well, we've already had one this week, and we'll do it again on June 16th, the Cisco Toonie Dog Night. One of my favorites, to be honest with you. I may have indulged last time and was pretty full for majority of that broadcast, that last Toonie Dog that we did. But it was so good. So definitely make sure you get your tickets online at sylvanlakegulls.com and join us for the Toonie Dog Night, brought to you by Cisco. Nothing like a hot dog at the ballpark. You know, maybe a little beverage in hand as well. Just makes it go down so smoothly. So Charlie Collins now at the plate. Runners at first and second. From Melbourne, Australia. And I realized that on my sheet in front of me, I may have mentioned the wrong school, because Matthew McKenzie and him are going to the same school, but they got Matthew McKenzie at a different school on the roster sheet. So I do apologize that I do know that Collins is going to Southeastern University. One and one. Collins lifts this in high, deep right field, but it's going to be catchable right at the track, and it will be caught. So that does advance the runner over to third, however. Maddox Shaver now 90 feet away from scoring. I'll bring up Eli Duncan. 1 for 1 on the night, had a walk as well back in the second. He's come around both times to score. So he's had some really good plate appearances. Runners on the corner. Sylvan Lake Gulls looking obviously at this game right now just as a huge bounce back game needed. I mean, it was a couple tough games down in Brooks. 12-6 and 8-2 were the finals. And just, you know, I just didn't get a lot of inside knowledge from Matt Hape. I kind of asked him, you know, what went on down there, and he just said, oh, we just ran into some issues, and they're going to try the old pickoff play here as the run comes in to score, and yeah, they'll get the tag out at first, but not before the run scores in Maddox Shaver. So the job well done there by Cooper Zazelski to draw in another run. And the Gulls back in the lead, 4-3, heading into the top of the sixth when we come back. in case you're tuning in for the first time to a Gulls broadcast or have never been to a Gulls game, after the 5th inning, every single game they do the snap race, and Snapman just coming in and pulling away with the win at the very bitter end there, and it was a fun and entertaining one for all in attendance to watch. A good job by that guy, the contestant, to take up the challenge. It's not an easy run. That is a long ways to run. They run literally from the 400 mark at the wall at center field all the way around the warning track back in front of the Gulls dugout. So it like finishing just past the Gulls dugout towards home plate. So a pretty lengthy run at that. And I've done it, and I don't think I did it from that far. They had us starting at like maybe just below the score clock, the scoreboard, which is a little bit, I guess, a little bit closer. Not much, but a little bit closer. And I was absolutely gassed by the time I turned the corner for that final stretch. 1-1 the count. Ryan Kusi still on the mound here for Sylvan Lake Gulls after he came in the 4th inning. So this is his 3rd inning of work. And he's facing Andrew Bain right now at the plate. Andrew Bain 0 for 2. And he gets a little bit of soft contact on that right off the end of the bat, and it's a play there made by Maddox Shaver over in time to Perry. And a good play there by Shaver just to collect it, throw it in time. So yeah, that little error back in the 1st inning is definitely well past him, and probably already forgot about it. Gage Perry now will step in. Perry 1 for 2 on the night, as he continues to hit .500 against the Gulls in this series. Oh, and that one just coming inside. He just got out of the way of that 85-mile-per-hour pitch. Gulls back here again tomorrow afternoon for a matinee matchup to wrap up this 4-game series against the Bombers, and this is hit well into right field and will drop for another base hit, and a little bit of an overrun there by Charlie Collins. Finally gets it in, and I'm thinking that would have just been a base hit, maybe an error for the extra base for Gage Perry, but he does get to second. As he hits this just into that hole again of right center field, and Charlie Collins just kind of bobbled it enough that it allowed Perry to get over to second. They're going to give that as an error to the right fielder. So he had a base hit, and then the second base coming to an error. And then this is hit softly to Tylen Graves, who fields it and throws in to Coleman Perry for out number 2. Good arm there by Tylen Graves. Perry over at third. So Derry Star Couture now back at the plate, 0 for 2 this night. Grounded out to Tylen Graves. Kind of very similar play that we just saw as how his last at bat went for him. And he hits this on the ground to Maddox Shaver, who fields it and throws an absolute dart over to Coleman Perry. So the infield gets the job done, only giving up the 1 base hit. But after that, it was all pretty smooth sailing for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and they still remain in the lead 4-3 when they come to the bottom of the 6th. New pitcher on the mound for the Brooks Bombers, and this is a kid from Vienna, Austria, Alex Kienberger. Goes to Williston State College, right-handed pitcher. And Walker Cocotelo just coming in. Had a quick inning of work, and then, or a quick 2 innings of work, I should say, and then Alex Kienberger comes into the game, so we'll see what he's got for the Sylvan Lake Gulls offense as Eli Duncan back at the plate, 1 for 1. And he was at the plate at the end of the last inning, but then they had the little trick replay they like to do, the Gulls with the runners on the corner, and had Saselski kind of draw the throw towards him as he got picked off, but then they scored the run over at third to come in to score. So then Saselski ends up getting tagged out. And a new at-bat for Eli Duncan. And his count is now 1-1. So 6 hits for the Gulls, 6 hits for the Bombers, but the Gulls with 3 errors in this ball game. Hasn't been the cleanest game for them as they're looking to kind of get back in that win column with a good crowd behind them tonight. It's 1-2 the count to Duncan. And Duncan checks his swing, but he goes all the way around. The call from first base umpire Levi Wagner says he did. So a strikeout for the first batter Alex Kienberger sees. And he gets him kind of rang up inside. And I think Duncan knew it all the way. So I bring up Coleman Perry. He had a base hit back in that second inning and then flew out to center in the fourth. And the fastball beating him on that one, 86 miles per hour. I talked to Perry before the game, and I had to make note of his really funny celly that him and I believe it was Tylen Graves maybe that they did at the kind of just in behind the mound there. They did a fun little post-game celebration. The 3 pumps and you're out kind of rule. It's a little bit of a skit that was famous for a while. That ball going into the turf, 1-2. And Perry said he's like, yeah, I might have to keep that Sally going. If we win tonight, might have to do it again. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that. It's quite a funny way to celebrate a win. 1-2. American Fork, Utah native. Northwest Nazarene University. And he hits this to right field, but it's going to be caught by Dalen Jeffcoats. And just it's been just overall tonight, not only a good baseball game, but just a gorgeous night. And look at the scenery there that you get to watch or see from your TV at home. But when you come to Gulls Field, make sure you pick a night like tonight because everybody in attendance is getting full money's worth in this one. It has been a great night for baseball. Great way to split up the weekend as well. John Boy Rittenhouse, that RBI double back at the fourth, walked in the second. His third plate appearance. Trying to keep the inning alive. Start a 2-out rally here. He's got Tylen Graves on deck. Should he keep it going? And Rittenhouse hits this hard all the way back left field, and it is out of here. John Boy Rittenhouse with another homer in front of the home crowd. It's a solo shot, and the Gulls go up 5-3, banking this one right off the scoreboard. And that got some buzz in the crowd. What an absolute bomb. He is putting on a little bit of display here tonight. It's his second homer of the season, and both have been here at Gulls Field. So Tyler Graves comes in now. 0-1, he kind of got rang up there on the inside. And this time he fouls this one back and over everybody's heads. 0-2. Graves already with a couple RBIs himself tonight. A sacrifice fly out back in the fourth. And then a walk that would score in a run with a bases loaded situation. So 3 consecutive innings now. Sylvan Lake has put up at least 1 run scored. And Graves lifts this shallow right, and it is a big catch there made by Dalen Jeffcoats with a diving play in right field. That was dropping quickly, but he ends this inning with a spectacular catch, but not before a spectacular at-bat by John Boy Rittenhouse. Go, Johnny, go. It's a 5-3 lead for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. A good shot of a little bit out in the distance there. Nice grain elevator just outside of Sylvan Lake, Alberta, Canada. And lots of farms in the area. And a beautiful night to be a farmer as well after all of that rain. But we're going to turn our attention to now June 19th, which is next Friday night. It's against the Brooks Bombers. And it's going to be vintage baseball night. So what that entails is they're going to go back to when there was no music. It was all you could hear was the crack of the bat and the snap of the glove, and there's going to be really no sounds here at the ballpark or really anything. It's going to be pretty just classic baseball that you're used to watching back in the good old days, and so that's what we're kind of aiming for next Friday night against the Brooks Bombers. Make sure you get your tickets online at sylvanlakegulls.com. This broadcast is brought to you by Visit Sylvan Lake. I almost said that instead. But pretty cool. It's going to be different. It's going to be a little bit like a different vibe, different energy maybe. Not hearing the music or the sound effects that our friends next door put on every single home game. Be a nice night to actually get some visiting in with your friends and be able to hear them just fine, not having any interruptions. So 2-1, the Bombers down by 2 now, and this is Daniel Jenkins at the bottom of the batting order here. It's 1 for 2 on the night. Had a base hit back in the 5th. Ryan Kusi still on the mound. This is hit softly, and it's just over the head of Coleman Perry. That lands fair. So a couple that have just kind of blooped their way out into shallow outfield territory that have landed in for base hits. And there's another one. Not hard contact, but doesn't matter. They don't ask you how. They just ask you how many. And Daniel Jenkins now has 2 base hits on the night here in the top half of the 7th inning. And that will get a little bit of a visit on the meeting here from the head coach, Matt Hape. His first mound visit, I believe, to just have a meeting. And he's going to just kind of settle everybody in here. A 2-run lead, and I'm getting word that we got some action in the bullpen, and it is number 25, who we saw here on Tuesday night, and he throws heat. Braden Stewart planning on maybe coming in to close a very close game for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and if you're the Brooks Bombers, that's not good news for you because that kid can throw. Oh my goodness. He is something to watch, and I am excited to see that he could very well be coming into this game sooner than later. So a nice little meeting. We'll reset everybody. That'll bring up Emerson Fleck, the DH for the Bombers. Runner at first, 0 down. And Fleck hits this on the ground, but foul. Ryan Kusi with a pretty solid night of work. You know, he's got the strikeout. Gave up 4 or 5 base hits now. And just 2 runs. And they got him here with a pickoff. Coleman Perry running down the line, and he'll flip it over. And the dive is there in time. Good job there by Tylen Graves to track down Daniel Jenkins and tag him out on the run. Wow. That was some really good work there. Kusi just takes a look over his shoulder, and he's got Jenkins just picked off in a rundown. And then great job there by Tylen Graves to dive down and fall on top of him with a glove for the first out. Takes away a base runner. The 1-3-6 play. So 0-2 here to Fleck. And this is hit off the fists right to Coleman Perry, who will just go right to his bag and touch up on it for 0-2. A lot of soft hit balls here tonight, whether it's off the fists or off the ends of the bats. It's been creating some challenges for some of the fielders out there tonight, but when it's, you know, within obviously reachable distance, the Gulls haven't made any mistakes on them and taken full advantage. Maverick McAllister now the second baseman at the plate. Ryan Kusi at about 39 pitches now in his 4th inning of work. And good off speed there, 73 miles per hour. That one slowed right down for a nice strike. A little bit of movement. Came inside on McAllister. Another soft hit ball to Shaver. Makes the play over in time for out number 3. A 3-up, 3-down inning for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. And it's the 7th inning stretch right here. You're watching Gulls baseball on FloCollege, brought to you by Visit Sylvan Lake. Well, there is our mascot for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, Sully the Gull, and Sully is one sleep away from his big annual birthday party. That's right, it's Sully's birthday tomorrow here at the ballpark, June 14th. The game brought to you by Sylvan Lake Bouncy Castles. There's going to be bouncy castles here for the kids. It's going to be a lot of fun. Sully is going to be hanging out with his friends as well. He's going to have some of his mascot buddies hanging around. You got Barkley the Bulldog, and I believe Wooly Bully from the Red Deer Rebels will be here. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So we're going to have fun. 2 o'clock game tomorrow as well, by the way, and get your tickets again. If you want to come, you got to get your tickets. Get them online at sylvanlakegulls.com. This one's popped up and towards foul territory, hits the screen, and it'll be dead. So Dom Juicy, a little sigh of relief there. That was not playable. It's going to be always a good time when it's Sully's birthday. And you know what? He has had really great luck when it is his birthday. It's almost like Mother Nature knows to be good to Sully. Give the Seagull some nice summer weather, and I believe it's supposed to be around 21 degrees Celsius tomorrow afternoon, which is pretty nice. And that's fouled down the line by Juicy. And yeah, it'll be a great afternoon matinee game. Everybody gonna hang out, have some fun, maybe some drinks, Sunday fun day at the ballpark. You know, it's all gonna be a good time. Back to the top of the batting order as Juicy is now 0-2 here, and he hits this hard. It's a line drive to the left field, but it caught by Daniel Jenkins. And that was a good barrel on the ball there, but Daniel Jenkins got there in time for the first out. And yeah, I mean, this is just a pre-party to the real party for Sully. And this is where you could be tomorrow afternoon. Hanging out, catching some rays, taking in the sun. It's going to be a great day. So pinch hitter coming in now as Elijah Hamill is going to be replaced by Michael Quick, who grounds this right to Maverick McAllister on it quickly and makes the throw. First pitch swinging for Quick is an out. McAllister hasn't had too many plays over at second tonight, but he does a good job. Pick that up off the backhand, make the throw. So Maddox Shaver, after getting that last base hit, he did finally come around to score. He had a stolen base. It's 1 for 3 on the night. And that was that hard hit ball, just dropped just as it was reaching Gage Perry at shortstop. That one catching the corner. 1-1 to Shaver, Belleville, Ontario product. Shaver fouls that back to the screen. 1-2. Should things continue, Cooper Siselski is on deck. We get a little bit of timeout so that the back girl can come and pick up that baseball. And Shaver hits this hard, high, but it's just gonna trickle foul. Oh my, that was close. It left in a hurry. Just turned on it a little too much. And it went left of the foul pole, but it was a no-doubter. He got a lot of that one. That would have been another 2-out solo shot over the field. John Boy Rittenhouse just did that last inning. And a good take there by Shaver. 2-2, and again on the mound for the Bombers is number 44, Alex Kienberger, for his second inning of work. Shaver pops this straight up, back. Is it staying in? It is staying in. A play, and it's dropped. That's a tough play to make by Amir Pinero. He just couldn't quite hang on to it in his mitt. And as you watch it come into the screen, yeah, as he falls to his knees, it just hopped out of his gloves. So a lucky break there for a dangerous batter, Manic Shaver. That would have ended the inning. Bombers could really use that. So count now even, 2-2, two-way. And Shaver grounds this right to Star Couture, who fields it and makes the throw in time. So the Brooks Bombers with a 3-up, 3-down inning avoid any more dangerous opportunities for the Gulls, and they lead down 5-3 heading into the top of the 8th when we come back. New pitcher on the mound for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. This will be the third pitcher of the ball game for Sylvan Lake, and it's going to be the guy that throws heat. Number 25, Braden Stewart, coming in to close out a tight ball game yet again. So you think it's hot in Sylvan Lake right now? Well, just you wait till you see this radar gun heat up from this arm. Braden Stewart, Warsaw, Kentucky kid, goes to the University of the Cumberlands. And he starts off with a 91-mile-per-hour fastball up high. This is Dalen Jeffcoates, the right fielder, who's made a number of catches tonight out in that right field, including the sprawling catch that ended the 6th inning. And another 91-mile-per-hour fastball right down the middle. 1-2. He struck out the side back on Tuesday to end that game against the Lethbridge Bulls, and he gets his first strikeout with his first batter faced in this one. Something about Braden Stewart's pitching is just fun to watch. Continues to lead the Gulls with strikeouts as well now. Now that's number 16 on the year. 16 on the year. Absolutely incredible. So Asahi Nakano at the plate right now, and Andrew Bain on deck. Nakano with that RBI single back in the first inning, and then he's since grounded out both in the third and the fifth. Fifth to the shortstop, Tyler Gray's throwing him out at first. And this is hit pretty good, but right to the right fielder. Charlie Collins making the catch for out number 2. An opposite field hit, but it's caught by Collins. Waiting for it. Nice read there. So some quick work made here by Braden Stewart in the 8th inning. And yes, Stewart just over 7 innings work. He's got 16 strikeouts now. Pretty good. 1.17 ERA. Only 4 guys have been able to hit on him. And this one dropping into right field, and it is caught. Charlie Collins, to end this inning, makes a nice catch for back-to-back plays in the right field. This one a little bit trickier and hard to handle, but he just gets his glove there in time, scooping it up. And that will do it for the top half of the 8th, but Braden Stewart also continues to wheel and deal in this game. Brooks Bombers sending their 4th pitcher on the mound, new pitcher, and this is going to be number 39, Rafael Echeverria. And he's going to be taking on Cooper Zazelski, the DH, to lead things off here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Gulls looking for a little insurance to head into the 9th here. Up 2 runs right now. Wouldn't mind probably adding at least another 1 or 2 just to really give themselves a little bit of a cushion. As we know, innings can really run away from anybody at any given time. No lead is really safe when it comes to baseball, and especially late in the games. We've seen it a few times from different teams. We've seen the Gulls do it to other teams. And Echeverria's second time facing the Gulls. He was one of the pitchers back on the 30th of May. I believe he was the starter, if I'm not mistaken. But again, yet again, my memory could be pretty bad. But yeah, he did have the one start. He's got just over 6 innings of work. He's given up 7 hits, 6 strikeouts, 8.1 ERA. He's up 1-2 on Szyzelski right now. Szyzelski lifts this shallow right center field. Going back for it is the second baseman, Maverick McAllister, making a good grab for out number 1. Take a look at it again here, the Gulls replay. He just kind of cuts underneath of it, but again, it was kind of flying pretty good into that area where a lot of guys can't seem to get to, and good job by McAllister having to run back for it, making the catch. Those are not easy catches to make. Collins, first pitch swinging, fouls it off.
It's a foul ball at Gulls Field, brought to you all summer long by Clearview Glass.
Oh, 2. Bombers just with that one error in this game, and that's off the end of the bat. Right back to the pitcher, and a good play made there by Echeverria. So 2-way, just like that. And that'll bring up Eli Duncan, 1 for 2. He's come around to score twice. And he struck out back in the 6th inning. He's had a pretty good night behind the plate. The balls and the strikes and, you know, even the arm. Throwing down. Hasn't been tested a lot tonight. I remember last time he took on this Bombers team, he had a couple tough times making that connection with the throws to the basement, but tonight, and you know, he's, like I said, it was early, and you knew that he was going to settle into Sylvan Lake here, and he's been very solid here tonight, and he's had a pretty good bat. 2-1. Echeverria still on the mound, 3-1 now. And that is a good take by Eli Duncan. We'll get a walk. So that'll bring up Coleman Perry, as Eli Duncan just continues to have himself a pretty good night here. So a little bit of a 2-out rally here maybe in the works for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, as Perry now with a base runner. That's inside, 81 miles per hour. That one off speed, catch in the zone, 1-1. So the Gulls will get a off day after tomorrow afternoon. Get an off day on Monday, the 15th, for getting set for a couple games here at home against the Fort McMurray Giants. And then a home with the Brooks Bombers again. And then that wraps up the head-to-head against the Brooks Bombers all season long. They get all 8 meetings out of the way just like that. They do actually have that makeup game, though, and that's a well-hit ball right up the middle by Coleman Perry. And some really good speed by Eli Duncan to get over to third. He turned second, and he just kept going. Coleman Perry stays at first. And now the Gulls have runners on the corner here. And John Boy Rittenhouse, the big homer, back in the 6th inning, back at the plate already with a couple RBIs on the evening. It's 2 for 2 at the plate, 3 for 3 technically at the plate with the plate appearances on getting on base. But he's 2 for 2 with the bat. And he's had, he's had himself a terrific night as well. And he pops this up. That should be playable and catchable by Dalen Jeffcoats, and he will. So that will end the inning just on 1 base hit, a no-run score. The Sylvan Lake Gulls will have a 2-run cushion heading into the top of the 9th when we come back. Back on the mound for a 2nd inning of work. Braden Stewart looking to close things out here with a 2-run lead at Gulls Field, Pagano Park, Sylvan Lake, Alberta, Canada. Cale Clark here with you on FloCollege, brought to you by Visit Sylvan Lake. And trust me, you want to visit Sylvan Lake in the summertime. It is the place to be. So many cool restaurants and bars on Lake Shore, the beach, of course. The lake itself is gorgeous. It is really an ultimate summer destination. Make sure you check them out if you're in the area, because you won't be disappointed. I can tell you that. And that throw coming up high. 0-2. Perry's 2 for 3 on the night. Couple base hits. And they say he didn't go around, as the appeal from Levi Wagner. And a big, hard fastball. 91 miles per hour has Gage Perry going down swinging. 1 away. So that'll bring up Amir Pinero. Or no, it won't. It's going to be a pinch hitter here for the Bombers. And that is Zach Bretza. So Zach Bretza comes in, trying to get things going for the Bombers with the bats. Let me take a look at Bretza's work over this past week. And he went 0 for 3 last night in their 8-2 win. He did reach on base once to a walk. So Brett's looking to kind of maybe get things going in the right direction for him this summer. Hitting .250 average on the season, only 1 RBI. So some numbers that he's probably trying to get a little bit more improvement on as the summer rolls on. And that just missing inside. Ball 2. And a little bit of an interesting game, though, folks. Those that are just tuning in or tuned in late to this game, a lot that went on early in the game, errors and things like that. And then the Sylvan Lake Gulls kind of finally found their way more so in the 4th inning, kind of in the middle point of this game is kind of when things were starting to go in the right direction for the home team. And then Bombers obviously weren't going anywhere either. I mean, it was a little bit of a back and forth exchange. Gulls tie it, then they go up by 2, and then the Bombers tie it that very next inning in the 5th. And then the Gulls just added one more at the bottom of that inning to regain the lead, and then another one in the 6th, and that's why they're up by just a pair of runs right now. Full count now to Bretza. And he stays alive, fouling that off. Back into the parking lot he goes. And this also foul back. So that's Bretza having a pretty good at bat here now. Forcing Braden Stewart to throw it now 7 pitches, going to be 8. And a strikeout for Braden Stewart. Back-to-back Ks, his 3rd on the night in 2 innings. What a great pitch there. Gets the better half of Bretza. So the Bombers to their final out. And this is hit on the ground right to John Boy Rittenhouse, who makes the throw, and it's in time. So the Sylvan Lake Gulls get back in the win column and defeat the Brooks Bombers with a 5-3 final. But some really good work by the Sylvan Lake Gulls to close this one out and pick up the much-needed win, because you know that, a couple tough games down in Brooks, they wanted to get back in that win column. They needed something to kind of go in their favor, and they did that here tonight. It started off a little bit shaky, but they found a way, and that's something that they have done such a good job of this season, is finding ways to finish the job, and they did that here tonight. And some really great performances, all up and down the lineup. I mean, great closing yet again by Braden Stewart to come in, get 3 Ks in those 2 innings of work, and then, of course, getting the help from the right fielders and even the infield, and John Boy Rittenhouse over at third making that final play for the final out. And it's been a great evening for baseball, and we'll go down to our player of the game, looking pretty snazzy with the Sunnies as well. We'll hand it down with Jared Waldo.
Now
now draw your attention behind home plate. Here is your game day host with our player of the game, Jared Waldo.
Thank you very much, Joe. Your EG Auctions player of the game, number 7, John Boy Rittenhouse. John Boy, great win tonight. First off, take us through how you saw tonight's game.
It was a great game. We needed a comeback win after the last 2 days, so it was nice to end the night on a positive note and go into tomorrow.
Yeah, when you come back, you go down there, you drop 2, unfortunately. Come back here with a chance to kind of pick those back up. What's the message? What's the conversation in the room on what you guys needed to do to come into tonight and get that W?
Just stop taking pitches off and compete better. We talked about it before the game today, just competing and keep competing and not taking pitches off.
Now we know that we've got another game tomorrow afternoon, another chance to even up this series, get above 500. And we did tell you the sun does come out in Sylvan Lake, so we're happy that you got to see it. I got to ask a question. Are you excited to celebrate Sully the Gully's birthday?
I'm ecstatic. I'm so excited.
Your EG Auctions player of the game with a home run earlier, John Boy Rittenhouse. Wow. Just like
John Boy Rittenhouse, the EG Auctions player of the game, left his boy Jared Waldo hanging down at field level, but had a great night at the plate. 2 for 3 on the night, 2 RBIs, and got on base with a walk too, and no errors to Rittenhouse tonight as well in this game. So Rittenhouse had a really great night overall for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, but like I said, there's some other guys in there. Kai Rempel, he had a good start too. You can't fault him for the way that inning kind of started out for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. A couple errors, things were a little shaky, but at the end of the day, the Sylvan Lake Gulls found a way to get the job done, and overall, that is exactly what they needed here tonight, was a win, because it's not easy to go down to Brooks and you drop 2 straight. You come back and you feel a little bit of that pressure maybe for the rest of the series to say, okay, now tonight's almost a much-needed win, because you don't want to fall too low of 500. And tonight they get back to even terms at the 500 mark on the season, and they'll get set for another one now tomorrow night to take on the Bombers to finish out this 4-game home-and-home series. Kai Rempel, though, he did have a great start. And, they did get a double play, and they did finally get some rhythm with the infield and the outfield, and a little bit of a monkey off the back for Elijah Hamill as he gets his first base hit of the summer. I had the pleasure to chat with a couple boys, Dylan Meitner and, of course, Reese Hellington coming in to chat with me. Thank you, gentlemen, for that. And everybody at the ball game had a great time, as Reese Hemmerling and Dylan Meitner was 2 of them. And, at the end of the day, the Sylvan Lake Gulls just did what they needed to do. Get the win, get the monkey off the back, and John Boy Rittenhouse get that one over the fence to give them a little bit of cushion to carry out the win for the rest of this game. They'll get set for Sully's birthday tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock start. You can tune in here at FloCollege. For the whole broadcast crew at Green Onion Media,